What's up guys, welcome back from the Yugioh Pro Duel video. New Shaddolls cards were revealed earlier today, let's try them out. A couple of new monsters, two new effect monsters, and they are alright, I guess. One of them is a new level 9 Hell Shaddolls. I mean, it's named Hell Shaddolls, so the name is like really scary. But its effect is quite, or both these effects are quite balanced. As I mentioned before, the level 9 Hell Shaddolls Void being a fire attribute, so, but, well, okay. But you're not really, at least there's no space in the extra deck for the fire fusion, right, for Shaddolls. But its effect, I mean, its milling effect, I guess, is, well, okay, yeah, well, obviously it has two effects. It has, like, when it's sent to the graveyard, let's say for a fusion summon, you can mill, like, up to the same amount of cards on the top of your deck, equal to the amount of different attributes you control. So that's cool, but maybe not in this build. Maybe in more like a pure Shaddolls build, or maybe in like, you know, a deck that definitely benefits more from the mills. I'm not sure, maybe Prediction Princess, you know, focusing on maybe rank 9 Exceed plays, that might be something. But for here, nah, I don't like it that much. While the other one, Genius, by the way, that's a level 4, and that can be important because the, you know, the type is also a machine. So, you know, you could play like Trained Shaddolls again with like a Switchyard, if I'm not mistaken, that should work. But it has like pretty much the same effect as Cleave Genius, that as soon as it's, well, in this case, your Genius is sent to the graveyard, you can negate or, you know, prevent like an effect monster on the field from using its effect. So that could be important, let's say targeting Isolde to, you know, prevent her from using her effect. So again, by, I mean, she can't activate her effect for cost, right? Let's say if you have like Veiler or Impermanence, Isolde can still activate her effect to mill the equips, and that can be important. The build definitely needs work. I, you know, looked at a couple of OCG lists as well, but their format is obviously quite different. Tried out a couple of new cards for me at least, playtesting in Shaddolls. One of them being Gale Dokra. You know, its effect on its own is not really once per turn, so you could use it twice during the opening turn to get those beneficial pluses. For the extra deck, as you saw, there is room for space. I decided to add in some personal flavor, I guess, with Masquerina and Avramex, but I guess you could definitely drop them, maybe for Anaconda, maybe for Celine as well, because this is the Dogmatica build, but I'm not sure if I really want to, you know, go through with the Dogmatica engine, maybe go for more pure Shaddolls or maybe invoked Shaddolls, but I was, you know, I kind of felt like, at least, well, I didn't really want to, you know, play another invoked build, so that's why I went with Dogmatica instead. But, I mean, Shaddolls is pretty straightforward. You're heavily relying on Winda, obviously. If you're going first, one of the first cards you're aiming towards of getting to the field as soon as possible, probably during your opponent's turn as Winda, to interrupt their special summons. And most of the time, you should be in the game-winning position, unless, of course, they have stuff like Impermanence or, you know, Dark Ruler no more. Or Droplet, yeah, let's not forget that one. So that's probably one of the reasons why I maybe want to switch this deck around a bit. So toy around with stuff like Invoked as well. You know, Megaba could give me some beneficial negates, or maybe with Anaconda and the Red Eyes Dragoon, right, since we still have that in the TCG. Or because the deck currently is running 41 cards because of the small Gamma engine, right? The driver being card number 41. I might want to try out more Shaddolls traps. One of them, well, it's not the Schism, I believe the name is. That's perfectly fine as a one-off, but it's Incarnation, I believe the name is. You know, the Call of the Haunted for the deck. I feel that in like pure Shaddolls or maybe, you know, Dogmatica Shaddolls, the Incarnation might be like a 2-off, so that's something I definitely want to try out as well. As for the rest, I mean, not really sure if Gale Dokra is really better than Mathematician because the life point cost is quite heavy. It might be, I mean, it gives you more pluses, I guess, and on top of that, it immediately makes your, your Dogmatica engine live because of, the combo of Almirage into Secure Gardner as well, and obviously using Gale Darkras a second time to send the Dogmatica fusion from your extra deck to the graveyard to, get the beneficial search during the end phase. So I guess in this particular build, Gale Darkra is indeed better. But I might want to try out, like trained Shaddolls and maybe focusing a bit more on the new cards as well. Because as you saw, both are, I feel, just fine as one of, maybe not the level 9, but the Genius, I could see that one. It's, well, I mean, it has a very similar effect to Apcalone. Then again, Apcalone is a fusion monster. Currently, it's a one-of in the extra deck, but it's also one of those cards that, because of Gale Darkra, you might want to main deck a second one. And that's, where I might drop the Masquerina and Avramax for maybe Helgi Fibrex as well, because I've missed Fibrex as an easy link upgrade for as Access Code Talker, and Celine as well. I mean, all of those cards are in the back of my mind, so I definitely want to try out more with this deck. So yeah, Apcalone hits the field, Crush Sheep as well, trying to surge the quick play, El Shaddol fusion, and forcing out the Pekros, I guess. There is the Dogmatica trap, destroying the Crush Sheep, but again, Winda hits the board, again very strong. But I believe there is a Fleur in hand, and that's a problem. And right. I believe these were the duels where, I got screwed over by the triple tactical talents, right? That's also one of those cards that I really want to fit in the deck, but not really sure if I really want to go like very good over 40 cards, since the main deck is already counting 41 cards. And as you see, is that Shaddolls or pure Shaddolls or Dogmatica Shaddolls, you can't rely on the invocation engine that kind of searches out the polymerization cards. Nope. You kind of need to hard draw your fusion spells, right? So Super Poly is also one of those powerful cards, but that's again one of the reasons that I might want to main deck Anaconda as well. Easy access to the fusion spells, that is. Going first, but not the strongest board, there is Punishment and the Super Polymerization. Well, Super Poly, could, depending on the matchup, could be great. Maybe because Infernal One Knight is so popular, you could maybe find space for the Fire one. I mean, that can be important for, let's say, the new level 9. The new level 9, the Hell Shadow Void, also has the beneficial effect that you could flip it, again, during your opponent's turn with the Shadow Trap, for example. Like the quick effect, and then you can target like an opponent's monster, send the same attribute from your extra deck to the graveyard, I feel, or I think, and then that monster will be, is it like destroyed or banished or sent to the graveyard, right? If I'm not mistaken. So that's cool. That's cool. Not really sure, right? I mean, the situation where your Hell Shadow Void will actually be flip summoned or flipped face up, that needs some preparation. And I'm looking at stuff like Wendy, that's cool. But I feel the water one, Ariel, is like most of the time the first one you'll be going for when using Wendy. But that's how it is, right? That also depends, obviously, on the matchup. So gain control out of the, or at least in the duel here, and also the thing that, your continuous Shadow Trap is like, at least, again, obviously, it's a continuous card, and you could use it or can use it multiple times, I mean, during both players' turns, makes the fusion summon so easy, right? So pay 3k, but immediately lose to Impermanence. I mean, that's cool. Okay, I could still follow it up with like a strong fusion play. Going for Construct. I don't think I have like some powerful plays ready. Well, maybe I could have sent like... Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe I could have sent like the Schism from my deck to the graveyard, right? Give me some potential free... Okay, yeah, I guess this is a fine play as well, because I was running Masquerina. But, I mean, the threat of the potential Avramax, but then again, what were my plays, right? I mean, if I would be going for Avramax, would be sacrificing my Winda here. So that's probably not the strongest play. Well, it depends on the matchup, I guess. If your opponent does have the ability or is able to attack over Winda, then Avramax might be okay. But then again, that opens up the special summon capabilities for the opponent. So that's, I mean, not really sure. I'm probably just going to drop Masquerina from the extra deck for other options. So Crush Sheep hits the board, and this should be, I mean, this is a very powerful play for Shaddolls. Crush Sheep with the Shadoll fusion or any like construct here in this case. Alright, yeah, speaking of like Shadoll, the Link one, that's also... but again, there's just no space in the extra because of Dogmatica, right? I mean... Maybe I should find space for that. I mean, because of the combos with this particular combo setup with Skomata and, you know, Construct sending the Shadow Trap from your deck to the graveyard. Aerial flip phase up, the Shadow Link monster definitely has a, or this can be part of your opening combo. So I might want to fit that one in as well. The Dogmatica engine finally comes through, so special summoning the Ecclesia and, you know, go from there. Access code Talker for some nice popping, and I eventually can go for a game. So last example, I think I should be going second here. Immediately going to blow my opponent away with the Ash Blossom, but again a tactical talent. And that's, you know, it's still one of the big weaknesses of Shaddolls. If your opponent, you know, is in this case able to peek at your opponent, or at least at my hand in this situation, getting rid of the Shadoll fusion spell, you know, you need to be very lucky. Or maybe I should have set like the Hedgehog. Yeah, that might have been the better play. Ah, meh. I don't know. I mean, nah, not sure. You know, just attack over Alistair, because again there was like the potential Anaconda play, I guess, for the, you know, the Red Eyes Dragoon. But I mean, here in this case the game is pretty much over, right, because of the top deck Alistair. So who knows, I might want to play like 50 cards with Dogmatica as well, with Invoked as well, but I mean, this is Shaddolls, right? You can play this deck like multiple ways. But this game is pretty much over. But I mean, the main deck definitely needs work. But the new cards are okay, because they are in like the new Link Frame spec, if I'm not mistaken, in the OCG. So who knows, the Shadoll deck might even get more support. Maybe a new Link, maybe a new Fusion, who knows. But yeah, let's wait for that, right? Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.